Sounds of the Week on iRadio.
I'm Fende Santina Sipaikwa, an MP representing Tombora County. I'm very grateful on behalf of the community, representing the community, because the local increment that has been done at the state level has deprived the IDPs, children who are on ground, and even the disability, because of the salary scale, because of the financial constraint within the state and within Western Equatoria and South Sudan at large. So here, on behalf of the community, I stand here to support and appreciate the stand of the House on the resolution that we should go with the national circular that is reading 80 for the community school and first base, as well as 120 for the private school. Thank you very much.
Sounds of the Week on iRadio. You are on South Sudan. Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good afternoon. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. A data officer with the Relief and Rehabilitation Commission in Kapoita East of Eastern Equatoria State says more than 600 South Sudanese returnees arrived on foot from the Kalubei settlement near Kakuma in Kenya in just 2 weeks. South Sudan's Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court has issued an administrative order deploying 64 county court judges across the country. And Western Equatoria's new governor has proposed a new policy that will prevent commissioners from serving in their home counties, a move he says is aimed at fostering unity among different tribes in the state. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Baria Johnson, and now the news in detail. A data officer with the Relief and Rehabilitation Commission in Kapoita East of Eastern Equatoria State says more than 600 South Sudanese returnees arrived on foot from the Kalubei settlement near Kakuma in Kenya in just 2 weeks. Mr. Lokali Daniel is urging the national government to coordinate with its Kenyan counterpart to facilitate transportation for returnees. He says the group, mostly from Eastern Equatoria State, had no choice but to walk the long and dangerous journey to Nadapal without adequate food, water or supplies. Daniel has appealed for an urgent government intervention to support their safe return and resettlement.
If I need the government of South Sudan also to open the eyes. So these people now we are neglecting the same people who are going to help us in future. Now we need all these people to be supported from Solobegi to Naraval. If there is any connection from the government of South Sudan and Kenya, to set those people putting, let the government of South Sudan to inform the government of Kenya to transport those people, because they are facing a lot of challenges on their way in security. Sometimes the robbers will rob them their food while they are fishing. So if the government can coordinate, because I believe the government is very long on, they can coordinate with the government of Kenya so that when those new arrivals come, they should put in the car instead of putting.
Mr. Daniel added that due to the absence of a temporary reception center at Nadapal, returnees were forced to continue directly to their home areas without receiving any form of immediate humanitarian aid. He appealed to the United Nations and other humanitarian partners to step in and establish a temporary reception facility in Nadapal to address the urgent needs of the incoming returnees.
But there's a need, because when they come to the Nadapal, they stranded there. Sometimes the immigration officers, sometimes they do contribute to help them. In fact, those kind of contribution, although it might not be enough for those people, because although they are coming in good number, they come in large number. So if there's any response from the government, they have to come up with the UNHCR partners so that they talk to the UNHCR to bring the new temporary reception to Nadabal, so that when they came from Kakuma, they will get assisted before they departure.
Senior Presidential Envoy on Special Programs Adut Salva Kiir has assured returnees from Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya of her support to reintegrate into their communities. In recent weeks, authorities in Greater Kapoita confirmed a growing influx of returnees crossing through Nadapal into eastern Equatoria. Many who returned cited chronic food shortages, cuts in humanitarian funding, and lack of basic services in Kakuma as the main reasons for their return. Speaking during her first official day in office yesterday, Adut said her office is open and is ready to give them services that restore their dignity. According to Adut, her new role is to support vulnerable people such as refugees who are making a difficult journey home due to worsening conditions in the camps.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the staff in the Office of the President for a very warm and hearty welcome. Today was the first day of our official duties, and when I say our, I mean South Sudanese in the Office of Senior Envoy, because the special programs are designed to serve South Sudanese, to give services to our vulnerable communities, and as such I call upon every South Sudanese, whether in the country or out, especially our brothers and sisters that are returning back from refugee camps like in Kakuma, the ones that have crossed the border through Nadepal and are now in Torit and Kapoita. I would like to give you this message that this office is open to you. We would like to give you services that will give you back your dignity. You're welcome to talk to us, reach out to us. Our numbers will be available, our contacts will be available. Please, let's unite and work together as South Sudanese.
Adut's Monday remarks comes with a concern raised by several lawmakers who raised concerns over the influx. During Monday's sitting, Deng Dao Deng, former Foreign Affairs Minister, urged authorities to provide urgent support, including transport and humanitarian aid for those arriving on foot.
The second information, Madam Speaker, is the refugees that are coming from Kakuma. They are trekking from Kakuma by foot, and some of them have reached Lokushokyo. I want to ask our committee not really to call the ministers, but to flag this to the concerned authorities to be able to put some contingents on the border so that those who have managed to cross the border to South Sudan can be given some transportation to their locality. If there are support that can be given to them in those places, that would be great. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
South Sudan's Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court has issued an administrative order deploying 64 county court judges across the country. According to Dr. Benjamin Bagdeng's order dated 19th August 2025, the deployment follows the recent promotion of 43 second-grade judges to first grade after consultations with former circuit presidents and the Deputy Chief Justice. The order deployed 18 first-grade judges and 8 second-grade judges to the Greater Bahr el Ghazal Circuit in Wau. In the Greater Equatoria Circuit in Juba, the Chief Justice ordered the deployment of 17 first-grade judges and 7 second-grade judges. Meanwhile, 10 first-grade judges and 4 second-grade judges have been deployed to the Greater Upper Nile Circuit in Malakal. Justice Dr. Bagdeng instructed all the deployed judges to report to their respective circuits immediately. According to the Chief Justice order, those already serving within the regions are to await redeployment by the circuit presidents based on court needs. The Chief Justice, however, said any complaints regarding the deployment will be reviewed after 6 months. Western Equatoria's new governor has proposed a new policy that will prevent commissioners from serving in their home counties, a move he says is aimed at fostering unity among different tribes in the state. He spoke to iRadio in an exclusive interview on the Sundown Show yesterday. Governor James Apayib expressed his commitment to bringing communities together and working to overcome challenges facing the restive state. He urged all citizens to support efforts aimed at reconciliation and development while stressing the importance of harmony for the state's progress.
The priority is obvious due to the conflict and the crisis in some parts of Western Equatoria, mainly in Tombora County and Najoro County, and also Mundara East County. These parts of the state out of the 10 counties are experiencing insecurity, are experiencing conflicts on the ground where people are not at their houses, at their homes, people are not cultivating. And in any government, when you come into power and such situation exists, then your priority is supposed to be about the peace, how to find peace to return and prevail and exist so that people comes back to their residences and enjoy their normal lives in cultivation, sending their children to schools and any other social matters.
In a bid to promote unity, Governor Tayyip has unveiled a new plan where county commissioners will be appointed to serve outside their home regions.
Uniting different tribes within the state, as I propose, I'm going to use a newly mechanism. The newly mechanism which I'm proposing to use is that no commissioner will govern his county. Every commissioner will be sent to a different county than his origin county. For example, a son or daughter from Mambolo, we can designate him or her to be a commissioner in any part in Zara, in Izo. And we take the one of Izo and bring him to any part of that. So we are going to introduce the system that the commissioner will not be the son of the particular state, but he or she may be there, but in any parts. This will create unity between the people.
This is iRadio Afternoon News. The Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Dr. Martin Iliya-Lomuro, on Monday opened the China-South Sudan High-Level Peace and Development Symposium in Juba. The event brought together over 10 scholars from the People's Republic of China to discuss peace and development in South Sudan. Among the participants were Ho Ying, charged the affairs of the Chinese Embassy in Juba, and Professor Robert Mayom Deng, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Juba, along with other senior officials and academics. In his open speech, Dr. Lomuro applauded China's contribution to South Sudan's development and called for collective efforts in building peace and reconstructing the country.
China has demonstrated through initiatives like the Belt and Road and through concrete projects here in South Sudan that partnership can transform nations. And from roadmaps to hospitals, from scholarship to technology transfer, China has stood with us in practical ways that impact our lives. Similarly, the University of Juba and other institutions of higher learning play an indispensable role in producing the human capital that drives peace building and development. No nation develops without investing in people, and our universities are central to that mission. Let us also acknowledge that peace and development are not the sole responsibility of government. They are shared responsibilities. Communities, religious leaders, women and youth all have roles to play in reconciliation and reconstruction. Development is more than projects. It is the building of trust, the nurturing of hope, and the inclusion of all voices.
Ho Ying reaffirmed China's commitment to supporting South Sudan's development and long-term cooperation.
Our embassy is working together with the South Sudanese government to steadily advance China's grant aid projects, including the Phase 2 of the Juba Teaching Hospital project, water well drilling project, Dream Town technology project, and Safe City project. We will continue to play a constructive role within our capacity for South Sudan's development and prosperity in the future. I sincerely hope that this symposium, centered on the themes of peace and development as building a community with a shared future for humanity, will offer valuable insights as a useful reference for the development of China-South Sudan relations.
For his part, Professor Robert Mayom Deng appreciated China's role in supporting education and national development.
The University of Juba, which has been very, very interesting and teaching us what the cultures of China are and how did China really develop from where it was in 1970 to this moment. They have also donated quite a number of books to our library, which our students are using for the benefit of our students in all fields. And finally, the ambassador, His Excellency the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, is granting scholarships internally to our students on campus. There are students who cannot afford to pay the tuition fees, and so His Excellency the Ambassador is always giving us funds every year to support some of those students, which is a noble gesture. For somebody to train somebody, I think is the most important thing you can give to an individual. Not giving him food, train him so that he can be able to grow food for himself.
And finally, the Bank of South Sudan has announced that it will officially auction 20 billion South Sudan pounds to eligible commercial banks through its term deposit facility tomorrow. This, it says, is part of its mandate to manage liquidity and stabilize the country's financial sector. According to an official notice issued by the central bank, the auction will be conducted in 3 tenors, 28 days, 84 days, and 360 days, with interest and principal to be paid at maturity. The settlement of bids will occur on the same day as the auction. The amount allocated per tenor includes 10 billion SSP for 28 days, 8 billion SSP for 84 days, and 4 billion SSP for 336 days. The respective maturity dates are set for 24th September 2025, 19th November 2025, and 29th July 2026. The interest rate for each deposit will be set below the central bank rate of 13%, with an early termination penalty of 25% of occurred interest, in line with the central bank's guidelines. The Bank of South Sudan stated that bid submissions will be accepted via email and the Refinitiv platform from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., with a decision scheduled between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. on the same day. The bank also advised banks not using the Refinitiv platform to authenticate their bids by scanning all documents into a single PDF file. Application forms and detailed guidelines are available at the Financial Markets Department Front Office Division, or can be downloaded from the bank's official website. The term deposit facility is a monetary policy tool used by the Bank of South Sudan to observe excess liquidity from the banking system, curb pressures, and maintain macroeconomic stability. This latest auction comes at a time when the central bank is under increased pressure to stabilize the local currency and restore confidence in the banking sector amid ongoing economic challenges. And now, listen of iRadio, we are joined by my colleague Madrama James for the regional and international news.
Botswana has declared a public health emergency as it faces a shortage of essential medicines and medical equipment. President Duma Boko announced in a televised address on Monday, citing out a multi-million-dollar plan to rectify the supply chain involving a military oversight. Managing the shortages would be highly price-sensitive due to our limited coffers, he told the nation. The economy of Botswana, which has a population of 2.5 million, has been hit by a downturn in the international diamond market, as it is one of the world's leading diamond producers, and families of hostages being held by Hamas are protesting across Israel a day after double Israeli strike hit a hospital in Gaza. At least 20 people, including 5 journalists, were reportedly killed in a strike on Nasser Hospital in Ken Yohannes. The incident, which Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called a tragic mishap, has been met with condemnation from global leaders, aid agencies, and media freedom groups. In Israel, local police said all roads have been reopened to traffic after major routes were blocked by protesters from the Hostages and Missing Families Forum. And finally, U.S. President Donald Trump has said he will immediately remove Federal Reserve official Lisa Cook from her position, a major escalation in his battle against the U.S. Central Bank. He said there was a sufficient reason to believe Cook had made a false statement on mortgage agreement and cited constitutional powers that he said allowed him to remove her. In response, Cook has said that Trump has no authority to fire her and she will not resign.
Thank you, Madrama James. And for the sports news, we are joined by Darlington Moses.
Thank you so much, Baria Johnson. In the world of sport, we have some great headlines, yet some are breaking, coming in from the South Sudan Football Federation, where the referees department of the South Sudan Football Federation hereby announces the suspensions of all international and national referees from officiating in any community tournaments within Juba. This decision follows the unfortunate incident that occurred yesterday at Bolu Playground, where referees were physically attacked by fans during the match between Tonj North and Our Real. Referees are entrusted with the responsibilities of upholding the laws of the game and ensuring fairness on the field. They must not be subjected to violence or intimidation. Based on this, no international or national referee under the South Sudan Football Federation will participate in community tournaments in Juba, and any referee found violating this directive by officiating in community tournaments will be held accountable by the referees department. 16-year-old Rio Gomarha scored a 100th-minute winner goal on his Premier League debut as Liverpool beats 10-man Newcastle United 3-2 in a bad-tempered contest at St James Park. Gomarha picked out the far corner following a clever dummy from Dominic Zosberkulai to silence a raucous crowd on Tennyside, where Liverpool seemed to have thrown 2 points away, amid continued speculation that Alexander Isak could have left Newcastle for the Premier League champions. Monday's game was played out in a fairy atmosphere. Spanish seed Carlos Alcaraz marked his progress to the US Open second round with a golf swing celebration in honor of watching Masters champion Rory McIlroy. Sporting an eye-catching new haircut, 22-year-old Alcaraz looked sharp in a 6-4, 7-5, 6-4 victory over his sovereign American opponent Riley Opeka. The 5-time major champion managed to break once in each set, avoiding being dragged into a tie-break by the 6th best server on the ATP Tour. This is all in the world of sport, and back to you, Baria Johnson.
Thank you, Darlington Moses. You're listening to iRadio News, and to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the main headlines. A data officer with the Relief and Rehabilitation Commission in Kapoita East of Eastern Equatoria State says more than 600 South Sudanese returnees arrived on foot from the Kalubei settlement near Kakuma in Kenya in just 2 weeks. South Sudan's Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court has issued an administrative order deploying 64 county court judges across the country. And Western Equatoria's new governor has proposed a new policy that will prevent commissioners from serving in their home counties, a move he says is aimed at fostering unity among different tribes in the state. That's the end of iRadio Afternoon News. If there is a story or an event you would like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page, iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 1:30. I am Baria Johnson. Thanks for listening.